The UK economy, 2026, rising unemployment, AI agents, replacing jobs, and the fight to save British industry. Something unusual is happening in the British economy right now. Unemployment is rising again. Businesses are quietly freezing hiring. High streets across the country are losing shops faster than they can replace them. And at the same time, a technological revolution is unfolding. And before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Mindful Minds and Money, where we break down the biggest economic changes shaping our world, from artificial intelligence and financial markets to the future of jobs, wealth, and global economic trends. Because understanding these changes today could make a huge difference for your financial future tomorrow. Now, let's begin. Artificial intelligence agents are beginning to automate millions of office tasks that only humans could do just a few years ago. But here's the real question. Is the UK prepared for what comes next? Because if the current trends continue, Britain could face a future where traditional office jobs shrink, high streets struggle to survive, and the middle class begins to feel the pressure. But there is another possibility. With the right policies, the right investments, and the right strategy, the UK could also enter a new era of innovation, industry, and opportunity. So, in this video, we're going to explore the latest unemployment figures in the UK, why businesses are becoming more cautious, how AI agents are starting to reshape office work, what this means for high streets and small businesses, and what the government could actually do to create new jobs and rebuild British industry. And trust me, the final part of this video may completely change the way you think about the future of work in Britain. Let's begin. Part 1. The UK labor market is showing warning signs. Over the past year, the UK job market has started to show subtle but important signs of weakness. Official data suggests that unemployment has risen to just above 5%, the highest level in several years. Now, at first glance, that may not sound catastrophic. But economists rarely focus on just the headline number. They focus on the trend. And the trend tells a more complicated story. Hiring demand is slowing. Job vacancies have been gradually falling. Many companies are not necessarily firing workers in large numbers, but they are becoming increasingly cautious about hiring new ones. In other words, the labor market is not collapsing, but it is cooling down. And this cooling is happening at the same time that businesses are facing several major pressures. Energy costs remain elevated compared to pre-pandemic levels. Interest rates have been significantly higher than during the ultra-cheap money era, and consumer spending is still being squeezed by the cost of living. All of this creates a difficult environment for companies. When businesses feel uncertain, they do not immediately fire workers. Instead, they stop expanding. They stop hiring. They delay investments. And slowly, the labor market begins to weaken. But there is another factor that could make this period very different from previous economic slowdowns. Artificial intelligence. Part 2. AI agents are starting to transform office work. For decades, automation mainly affected factory jobs. Machines replaced assembly line workers. Robots entered manufacturing plants. But today, something very different is happening. Automation is now moving into white-collar professions. The rise of advanced AI systems and AI agents means computers can now perform tasks that were once considered uniquely human. These systems can write reports, analyze financial data, answer customer support emails, process invoices, create marketing content, assist legal research, review contracts, analyze spreadsheets. And they can do many of these tasks in seconds. Now, this does not necessarily mean that entire professions disappear overnight, but it does mean that companies can often operate with smaller teams. For example, a marketing department that previously required 10 employees might now require 5 employees supported by AI tools. A finance department that once needed multiple analysts may now rely on fewer staff assisted by AI data analysis systems. A customer support center may replace dozens of agents with automated AI assistants. The result is subtle but powerful. Companies become more productive, but they may also require fewer workers to perform the same amount of work. This shift is already happening quietly across many industries. And because the UK economy is heavily based on services, the impact could be particularly significant. Part 3. Why the UK economy is especially vulnerable. the structure of the UK economy has changed dramatically over the past few decades. Today, services dominate the economy. Finance, consulting, marketing, hospitality, retail, technology, and administrative services make up the majority of economic activity. Manufacturing, by contrast, represents a much smaller share of the economy than it once did. This creates a potential vulnerability. If automation begins to disrupt office work, service economies could feel the effects more strongly than industrial economies. In countries with large manufacturing sectors, new technologies often create new types of factory jobs. But in highly service-based economies, the transition can be more complicated. Many entry-level jobs that young workers rely on, administrative roles, junior analysts, call center jobs, could become partially automated. This could make it harder for new workers to enter the labor market. And that is one reason why economists are paying close attention to rising youth unemployment figures. The concern is not just about current job losses. It is about the future structure of the labor market. Part 4. The struggle of the British High Street. While technology is transforming office work, another long-term change has been quietly reshaping British towns and cities: the decline of the traditional high street. Across the country, many high streets are facing increasing challenges. Retailers are dealing with rising operating costs, energy prices, business rates, higher wages, and competition from online shopping. Consumers today are increasingly comfortable buying products online rather than visiting physical shops. This shift has accelerated over the past decade. The result is that many independent retailers struggle to compete with large online platforms. When shops close, high streets begin to lose foot traffic. When foot traffic declines, more shops close. And slowly, the entire ecosystem of the high street begins to weaken. This is not just an economic issue, it is also a social issue. High streets have historically been the heart of many communities. They provide local employment, they support small business owners, and they give towns and cities a sense of identity. If too many high streets decline, entire communities can feel the effects. So the question becomes, what can actually be done about this? Part 5. Can Britain rebuild its industrial base? One possible solution being discussed more frequently in economic circles is re-industrialization. For much of its history, Britain was one of the world's great industrial powers. The country produced ships, steel, textiles, machinery, and vehicles that were exported across the globe. But over time, much of this production moved overseas. Manufacturing jobs declined. The economy shifted toward finance and services. Now, as global supply chains become more uncertain and technological competition intensifies, some economists believe the UK may need to rebuild parts of its industrial base. This does not mean returning to the industries of the 19th century. It means focusing on industries of the future. For example, advanced battery manufacturing for electric vehicles, robotics and automation technologies, artificial intelligence infrastructure, green energy equipment such as wind turbines and hydrogen systems, semiconductor research and advanced electronics. These industries could create thousands of high-skilled jobs and strengthen the country's economic resilience. But attracting these industries requires strategic policy decisions. And this brings us to an important question. What could the government actually do to stimulate job creation? Part 6. Creating tax-free startup zones. One idea that has been used successfully in other parts of the world is the creation of tax-free startup zones. These zones could offer major incentives for entrepreneurs and new companies. For example, new startups operating within these zones could pay zero corporate tax for their first 5 years. Payroll taxes could be reduced, business registration could be simplified, regulatory processes could be accelerated. The goal would be to create powerful innovation hubs that attract entrepreneurs from around the world. Cities like Manchester, Birmingham, Glasgow, and Leeds could become centers of technological innovation. These startup zones could focus on sectors such as artificial intelligence, robotics, biotechnology, clean energy technologies, digital infrastructure. By lowering barriers to entry, the government could encourage thousands of new businesses to emerge, and each new business has the potential to create new jobs. Part 7. Tax incentives for companies moving production to the UK. Another powerful policy idea involves encouraging companies to bring manufacturing back to Britain. This process is often called reshoring. To incentivize reshoring, the government could offer targeted tax exemptions to companies that relocate production to the UK. For example, a company that moves a factory to Britain and creates at least 200 long-term jobs could receive corporate tax reductions for 10 years. Import duties on factory equipment could be reduced. Government investment funds could support infrastructure development, but these incentives should come with clear conditions. Companies must create genuine long-term employment opportunities. This prevents corporations from simply collecting incentives without delivering real economic benefits. If designed correctly, reshoring incentives could attract investment into advanced manufacturing sectors, and that investment could create thousands of skilled jobs across the country. Part 8. Reviving small businesses and high streets. Policies designed to support innovation and manufacturing should also be complemented by measures that help small businesses survive. High streets play an important role in local economies. Small retailers, cafes, restaurants, and service providers employ millions of people across the country. To support these businesses, policymakers could consider several measures: reducing business rates for small independent retailers, providing tax relief for new local businesses opening on struggling high streets, offering rent support programs in areas with high vacancy rates, encouraging local entrepreneurship through grants and training programs. These measures could help revitalize town centers and create new employment opportunities. Part 9. Preparing workers for the AI economy. Even with strong economic policies, one reality is unavoidable. Technology will continue to change the labor market. Artificial intelligence will automate some tasks. New technologies will reshape industries, and some jobs will inevitably evolve or disappear. The key challenge is not stopping technological progress. It is helping workers adapt. Governments can play an important role in supporting this transition. Investment in education and training programs will be critical. Workers displaced by automation could retrain in fields such as AI engineering, robotics maintenance, data analysis, advanced manufacturing, cybersecurity, digital infrastructure management. The jobs of the future will require different skills than the jobs of the past. Preparing workers for these changes will be essential for long-term economic stability. Part 10. 2 possible futures for the UK economy. Looking ahead, the UK economy could move in one of 2 directions. In the first scenario, technological change and economic pressures gradually weaken the labor market. Office jobs become increasingly automated. High streets continue to decline. Manufacturing remains limited. Economic growth stays sluggish. In this scenario, the gap between high-skill workers and lower-income workers could widen. But there is another possible future. In the second scenario, Britain embraces innovation and strategic industrial policy. Startup zones attract new entrepreneurs. Advanced manufacturing investment returns. High streets reinvent themselves. Workers gain new digital skills. And artificial intelligence becomes a tool for economic expansion rather than economic disruption. Which future becomes reality will depend on the decisions made today. Final message. Artificial intelligence is not the enemy. Technology has always transformed the economy. The real challenge is whether governments, businesses, and workers adapt quickly enough. The future of the UK economy will not be decided by algorithms alone. It will be decided by the choices we make about innovation, industry, and opportunity. And those choices will shape the future of work for an entire generation. If you found this analysis helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. Here on Mindful Minds and Money, we break down the biggest economic changes shaping our world. And as always, I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think artificial intelligence will create more jobs or destroy them? Let me know in the comments below. Stay awake, stay aware. I'm Felix, and I'll see you in the next video.